we're going to be talking about our ongoing Kickstarter. With me today is Doug and Sebastian, and Christopher will be with us in a bit. Working in the background is James McCann and Murphy. We also have another team member, Lewanika Miller, who's writing for us and working with us on our Kickstarter. And today we're just going to talk about some of the stretch goals and the updates and the social stuff. And yeah. So what are you guys working on today?
I was finalizing the Protoceratops cart, which is one of the stretch goals, or is that a social? No, it was a regular stretch goal, right?
Right.
Yes, regular stretch goal, not social stretch goal. So just finalizing it, making sure it's all shiny, pretty awesomeness.
You guys want to see what I'm working on? Check this out. So we've got that, and I've got. One second. I'm going to share my. It'll let me share my screen. There we go. I've got one of our secret stretch goals.
Ooh.
So this is our sci-fi rider character on the Apatosaurus. Or wait. This is the Parasaurolophus, or duckbill.
Or beefcake.
He's all set up here. Or beefcake.
Beefcake.
Yes, very cool.
So he's all set up here, so you guys can see him. Hold on a second. We'll zoom in and we'll take a look at him in just a second. I'm gonna clear my screen, get a bigger view. Yeah. What do you guys want to?
Hey, look what it is.
Ta-da! I showed up.
Look what
yes,
that
Chris
dragged in.
Chris joined us. So this is the character here, and he's designed to sit in this particular saddle. And we're gonna make him a standalone character, but we're also gonna make him available for the saddled rider sets. But yeah, we put him together last couple of days along with our other one. Doug, do you have yours?
I have him right here in the real world.
Ooh.
I dropped him in the real world.
I'm beginning to see a pattern here.
To just call me Captain Dropsy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So now he's supposed to sit. Now he's sitting on the bareback, right? But he's really meant to sit with the saddle, right?
Yeah, I designed him around the saddle. I didn't have a printed copy of the one with the saddle here, but I wanted to, show what he can do, and
it looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
that one came out nice. That was the first one we got done.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, this is a secret stretch goal. We're gonna continue doing secret stretch goals only because we think that it's nice to be surprised about things and to know that there may be Easter eggs or surprises that come through our given projects. That being said, we haven't reached all our social media goals, and we're going to be asking you guys to try and reach out to your friends to share and promote the Kickstarter so we can open up the last of the social media goals. If you know anybody,
Twitter. I want to say I think all the other ones. I think all the other ones are open. I think it's Twitter that we're lacking on. We need some more retweets.
Go tweet.
Yep, we need some more retweets. Ideally, you'll ask them to retweet it, re-Facebook it, repost it everywhere and anywhere they can, because we really just need to get tell everyone. Tell your grandma.
Because you want this.
Yeah, show grandma the dinosaur so you can get the barrel cart.
Yes, the barrel cart has yet to open up. What else do we have to talk about?
Stretch goals. Share things.
Stretch those goals.
Yep.
Let's see.
And done.
No.
Well, folks, it's been a little while, but it has.
Who's playing audio?
A piece of cardboard.
What?
I think that's James is playing some audio there.
What people have been asking.
All right. So anyway, so I'm going to go over to the Kickstarter real quick.
And making noise.
Yeah. I'm going to go over to the Kickstarter real quick.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Yeah.
Let's see here. So Chris, do you want to tell us about what you've got printing?
Right
While
now,
I look for this.
I've got the Ankylosaur. I've got a friend who just got a resin printer here since I don't currently have one, and he is test printing the Ankylosaur for us. I know that James had gotten a few of the other pieces done on one of the initial versions, but we hadn't gotten everything all together yet. So hopefully I will have a physical one in hand here within the next day or so, so that at least by our last stream I can show you guys what that looks like. And if I get an opportunity, I'm going to try to throw a quick coat of paint on it so you guys can kind of see the level of detail that's going to come through on that guy. It's I'm super stoked to see something that I made finally get printed. So it's going to be awesome to hold that thing and be like, look what I made.
Yeah.
Behold what I hath wrought.
Exactly. Behold all that I have created. No. One of the other things is we do actually have our 7,000 stretch goal unlocked now at this point, which is the pack 3, which is the stack of barrels for the small open wagon. That happened earlier today, I think. Either that or late last night, one of the two. So we're there on that one. But outside of that, I think right now I'm working on cut up on things to make sure they print right.
Yeah, the loading dock for our sauropod isn't open yet. So as someone referred to him, beer cake with all of his kegs and what have you hasn't opened up yet. Did we reveal his hat yet?
I don't think so.
Do we want to talk about the hat yet?
We need to show the hat.
Should we?
Is the hat a secret stretch goal?
The hat was going to be a secret. Thank you.
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about. What hat?
It's going to be like a super secret, like, hey, thank you for backing us here. Have this.
You can talk about that.
But we
can you go ahead and bring that up, Doug?
Yes.
So early on in the project,
I gotta open ZBrush up again.
While he opens that, we're going to talk about it. Early on in the project, Chris and Doug and I were goofing around as we usually do when we're having a design meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And Doug put 2 beer casks or 2 barrels on the side of his head and said, "We should make a beer hat." So
and I immediately chimed in right afterwards. Yes, we should.
So we have a beer hat that's going to come with our sauropod. Now, the sauropod is what's his name? Do we know what his proper name is?
Apatosaurus.
Apatosaurus.
I think of it as Apatosaurus.
Yeah, I want to mention this. We've had a couple of people ask for a Brontosaurus. The Brontosaurus is the Apatosaurus. Brontosaurus is not a real animal. It's the wrong head. So we're actually building the real animals, not the mistakes that were made in the early days of digging up dinosaurs.
It's like Istanbul and Constantinople.
Yes. Which I don't think either of those names are relevant anymore, are they?
Still, it's Istanbul, still.
Anyway, we'll talk geography another time.
Istanbul, not Constantinople. Been a long time gone, Constantinople.
Okay. So I don't think that our stretch goal number 14 and 13 are open, which is the Backer's Choice stretch goal and the animal pen. And I say animal pen. It is a animal pen for dinosaurs, so it's a big animal pen. Okay. You're not going to keep your gerbils in there because they get through. Let's see here. Backer's Choice number 2. I don't think that's open just yet. The Tower Airship loading pad. Are we already building that? Didn't we talk about that last night?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that is terrain pack number 3. We're actually working on that one right now. Mm-hmm. Here we go. The Twitter goals, we're missing the large open wagon and the large beer keg for the large wagon. So that requires 16 out of, or 20, it requires 25 and 50 retweets. So we're kind of short on that. We're currently at 16 on both of those. let's see what else. And I think that's pretty much the end of that. There's always something I'm going to miss because I'm trying to read it off of the Kickstarter. But hey,
Yeah, let's share a couple of things so they can see it.
go ahead, put stuff up. And we're waiting for Doug to find his file. But
yeah, I'm trying. I didn't know I was going to be asked to find that file. Hey, Chris, do you have those renders of it that I gave you?
I should. Hold on. Let me see what we got.
I don't remember which file it was that I'd actually had the. Oh, there it is. I think this might be it. Is this beer hat?
I was gonna say I have them, so I can pull them up either way.
Yeah, let's go ahead and pull those up.
Definitely.
While those guys are looking for their files, I want to say I have been thoroughly impressed and pleased with the community commenting and engaging with us and talking to us. That is probably one of the coolest things that has happened for this project or any project, actually. We put a lot into this, and the community is so quiet most of the time. It's hard to figure out where the wind is blowing from, basically.
So I have a picture here that I can share. So I'll start with sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's the one. Okay, there it is. Conveniently, I found it at the exact same time.
Yeah. So I've got one in here. I believe I've got that screen up. So.
Do you?
I think James has to pop it in though.
You have to turn on share screen at the bottom.
I did.
Yeah, I have it shared also well, and it's not showing.
That's did when I showed the writer, that showed up, right? You should have gotten a secondary window that asks you to choose the screen.
Ta-da!
There we go.
It was hiding in the back. So this is affectionately known as Beer Cake. This is our sauropod with his goofy beer hat on, because he's having a good time, and especially since the mobile pack version looks like a mobile brewery anyway, it's pretty cool because he's got the big cakes.
He gets a plus 10 attack.
He gets a plus 10 to attack. Yes,
exactly.
And a plus 5 to slurred speech.
minus 5 to dexterity.
They're not very dexterous to begin with.
Hey, Miguel, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I got to tell you, this was a lot of fun.
Hey, hi, Sin. What's up?
This is a lot of fun to actually make, to have this made. We never intended to go this route, but all the guys have such a great sense of humor about things. So when we started realizing how silly we could be with this, we figured we'd throw this together just to blow off some steam.
That's right.
What's that?
And why not, right?
Why not, right?
We should have fun with our miniatures.
And I've got the door pulled up whenever we want to, because I can actually do
I
that.
think he's got the model.
Yeah, let's go ahead and switch over to the model real quick.
Oh,
Yeah,
look
there's
at
the model
that.
with the kegs.
Yeah.
Beer cake.
I think he's gotten cheated. Those are really small kegs compared to what he's carrying.
Yeah.
You should attach a hose down the
I
back.
don't want to break it.
I mean, those kegs are connected to those other ones. So
You know what he's drinking though? The kegs have beer in it. What he's drinking is White Lightning.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're not gonna take much of that to knock him out.
Never had before now.
Really good.
So I haven't finished cutting up this model. We actually were talking about cutting him up last night for 3D printing. This is going to be a lot of fun to get ready and get on the printer. Besides this, we've also got we got a Protoceratops pulling a wagon, which we're going to put casks or barrels into. So we've got that coming along too, and we're also working on setting up all of the pre-supports for everybody. I'm not sure if we've got anything else. What else did we want to talk about today, guys?
All right. Well, I'm gonna share really quick so they can see the rest of the stuff that we've been doing.
Yeah. What else? What do you got?
I think Sebastian's
Oh,
got
wait,
some.
no, there it comes.
Yeah.
No,
they're
that's
right.
Doug. There we go. I found you, Sebastian.
All right. Whee!
Whoa! What was that?
Amazing. So here's all of them that you guys will be able to get with all the packs.
Mhm.
And you guys, as I go through them, go ahead and talk about them. I got a chance to sculpt the Cyber 2 and the Stegosaurus. Very fun.
Thanks, Eric. We agree. We like dinosaurs, and we think they're cool too. It's been fun because everybody's inner 5-year-old has been able to come out for this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we had a, I don't know as if we can necessarily talk about it, but we did have a major organization, a couple of their staff backed our project. We were really happy finding out about that. But we can't talk about that. So Miguel, Sin, Oliver, Eric, thanks guys for coming in and hanging out with us for a little bit.
Ooh, here's the prison cart. Doug built this one. It's got the swingy doors on it.
Dino Transport.
Dino Transport.
It looks like a prison car. That does not look like
is
a
for him.
transport of luxury.
It's a prison for dinosaurs.
Yes, this is the one that I've got a buddy of mine printing right now, actually, which is the Ankylosaur with the armored setup here in the saddle. Although I think he's printing it in the other pose.
This was
afterwards.
This was a really challenging model to make.
Ooh, yeah. And even more fun to try to cut up. Man, I had so many fails on some of those things where the computer did not interpret the cut that I intended for it to do, and it did some weird things, some very, very strange stuff.
So for those of you that don't know, most models can't just be thrown in the printer to print. They have to be engineered, which means cutting them into pieces that are more manageable for the printer, but also that are easier to work with when it comes to painting and assembly. And this one here was a really intense. And Chris and I were talking about this a lot, trying to make sure that that he could solve the various troubles that he was running into. But it turned out pretty good because I think that this one, I think it has 4 tail variations.
Yeah.
And then it has its primary loadout, but it also has a second loadout, which has got the saddle on it. You can see the saddle rising up between the blades.
Yeah. Saddle.
Yeah, and that's which tail is that? Do we know what tail that is?
That's the axe tail that's on that one currently.
Yeah,
Because he's got 3 that have actual equipment on them. A sword, we've got a mace tail and an axe tail that all go on there, and then we've got the plain tail, which doesn't have anything on it.
Right.
That's a lot of tail.
Yeah.
That is a lot of tail. You're going to get all the tail with this one. Here he is with none of his equipment.
I'm hoping that somebody will print out like 6 of them and flip them left and right, and then have them lined up as a squad moving across the field.
I was actually kind of thinking that it'd be neat to magnetize the tail ends and have them so that they're hot swappable.
Yeah,
that's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
And this face has got this face or this render has got so much expression for that animal there.
Yeah.
So
Sebastian did a great job with the renders with these. Hi guys. I want to play too.
he shares Chris's mustache.
We are part of the same. Here he is. I think that's just him with just the high-rise saddle. I don't have that one cut up yet, but that will definitely be an option that's in there. It takes some weird engineering, of course, to get that to go in right. Because right now I have it so that the saddle actually comes off the top, and then the other 2 pieces kind of come together, with all of his legs and stuff being independent. So just to cut down on your printing headaches.
I liked what you ended up going with as far as the style of the saddle there, because it took us a little while to figure out how we wanted someone to be able to ride him. just because with all the spikes there and all the blades and stuff, it was an interesting struggle to figure out if someone were to ride this into battle or even just ride them around, how would they do that?
Yeah, especially without hurting yourself.
Yeah, it was a very smart thing you guys did there to bring that up and have him have that that rider up there. It was really cool.
Yeah. And thanks, man.
Let's see here.
And
So
the riders will be able to fit on him.
Yes.
And the riders, well, yeah.
Yeah, because I want to say the saddle was actually for the most part modeled by Doug, and then I made a few modifications on it to make sure that it fit on the Ankylosaur. So that's pretty much the same. One of the Packy saddles, actually.
now we have a poll going on, and right now I'm not sure, James. Where can we find the poll?
It's in this updates. It's the latest update. Give me a second. I'll tell you which one it is.
Okay.
They can even drop a link into the chat. I don't know.
Yep. Here's the Brontosaurus with no armor. I think beforehand we had him up, and he had the full, basically shield wall look going on there.
Yeah, I've been calling the two poses Stompy and Walkie.
Stompy and Walkie.
Because he's stomping here, and the other one just kind of walking along. It's fun. I flick between the two different models in my thing, and it's kind of a silly little frame animation there. Say hi from a backer. Hi from a backer.
So right now,
us.
right now our poll is yes. Thank you for backing us.
Yep.
Thank you, Doug, and thank you for our backers for backing us. Let's see here.
They're awesome.
So the poll reads like this. So stretch goal number 9 for 9,000. We have one of 4 options: Dino nest eggs, little baby pterodactyl, Dino porta potty. Need we say more? And the Dino fighting pit. At the 11,000, we've got a backer choice goal also, which is one of 4 options. It's a concession stand for Dino snacks, Dino blacksmith, armor for the dinos, Seraphim of War, female warriors, cyber beefcake, a futuristic cyber version of beefcake's armor.
I can't act that one out.
Beefcake is our Parasaurolophus, or the duck-faced one that has like the extra turrets and all the other stuff. So
What is duck-billed, duck-faced, dinosaur beef?
We should have done a duck-faced version where he's like puckering his lips out at people.
Only if he were holding out a cell phone.
Yeah. His
So
arms are a little short for that.
yeah, so we're looking for you guys to engage on this or to share it with your friends. Can anybody get in on that?
Yes.
So you don't have to be a backer to participate in that.
Currently, this $9,000 stretch goal, the Dino nest with eggs is in the lead, and on the $11,000 stretch goal, it is the Dino blacksmith shop, armor for dinosaurs.
Okay.
That'll be fun to make.
That would be
It
fun.
keeps bouncing up and down. It keeps changing because a lot of people are voting.
Awesome.
It's a race.
See, that's
See,
cool. Yeah, that's very cool. So I want to bring up a couple of quick things. I'm going to reread because I finally found the thing I was looking for, the stretch goals. So we're if we reach 8,000, we're going to get a loading dock with a crane. That's primarily to load any dinosaurs with their packs. The backer choice will open up, and that's the backer's will pack at 9,000.
Look
The
at
train-
Doug's awesome rider that's up here right now on there with his sword and shield there and matching emblem from the beefcake armor.
Do we want to mention his working name?
Mention it.
Bob.
Say it. Bob.
He's Sir Robert.
I thought he was Sir Basic.
Yeah.
His first name is Robert.
So
Robert
Robert,
Sir
First of
Robert's
its
basic.
So a lot of our files get joking nicknames because
That's how we kick it around the office.
yeah.
We have fun.
Yeah.
So Sir Basic.
Yep.
Sir. Doug and I have been talking about Sir Basic a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, come on. Sid hides in the dark. He's a silhouette. He hides.
He is a silhouette.
So Basic steps out in the light.
Right. And I do want to say,
And Bob.
I
How can you not love that?
I want to say that I forget who made Sid, but I want to thank them for making that available. We use that Sid and Hammer Time as our two primary test files to help show people scale because we're always familiar with them. So
They were made by the infamous Matt from Printable Scenery.
Oh, Matt from Printable Scenery. Yeah, I forgot about that. Matt's been involved with us for quite a while, helping me get started originally with OpenLock. I really appreciate that. We're still using OpenLock. We are actually talking about making or having conversion tools because there's so many different options out there. But right now we're still using OpenLock, and we use that for all of our terrain stuff. This armor.
For thanking people, we should also make sure we thank Kevin and Jeremy.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yes. Kevin Rank and Jeremy Gozer. Kevin is from
Maker Fun 3D.
Thank you. Maker Fun 3D, and he is helping us out with this project. And Jeremy from
Gamescape 3D.
Jeremy from Gamescape 3D has also been directly involved with us. We worked on some carts for him. It's how we got started on the land train. Jeremy and I talk pretty regularly. I always forget names and stuff, so I really should have had that written down. But yeah, we're really lucky that we've got a really great community of people helping us, supporting us, talking to us, engaging with us. Not just the people that are backing our projects, but also the other community developers out there, like Matt, Jeremy, and Kevin, and other members like Danny, who have all helped to promote, support, encourage, guide, make recommendations. We really want this thing to work, and those people are all trying to help us get through this. The growing pains of establishing Worlds Overrun. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, the 3D printing community in general is unique to itself. Unlike most industries, this community is more of a family. We all help each other. We all work together. Any other industry, you would have artists that would not even talk to each other. And in our community, we all work together to make everybody's stuff work. So for me, this 3D printing community is a family. It may be a distant family, but we're a family.
Yeah.
I'm that weird uncle.
He's definitely the weird uncle.
Hey, at least you're not a cousin. At least you're not a cousin uncle, right?
That's Chris.
Uncle cousin to you,
Uncle
sir.
cousin. Uncle
Cousin, you man.
Yeah, there's a whole funny story behind that with my nieces.
Oh God!
Before they
your family tree as well.
Family Tree looks normal. The title is just weird. No, they didn't. We didn't know whether my nieces were going to call me Uncle Chris or Cousin Chris because technically they're first cousins once removed or whatever. So, but the oldest one got a hold of it first and was like, started saying Uncle Cousin because we had just kind of done that. So it just became my honorary title, and now all of them call me Uncle Cousin Chris. And
you wear it with pride.
And it is my favorite title.
So right now, guys, we're right around 7,000. We did pick up a couple backers actually while we're streaming.
Hey! Woohoo! Thanks for backing.
Thank you.
Exactly.
We're looking for more people to share the content because the only way we're going to grow is by word of mouth. And your encouragement and sharing our content, sharing our images. We are talking about updating some of the images with a little bit better shots, because it looks like we've been talking about this a little bit, that sadly there's some compression issues from Kickstarter. So we're hopefully going to hopefully get you guys some better images. The ones in the stream look really sharp.
Yeah. I think it has to do with some of the compression on some of the other uploads and stuff that gets a little wonky, but yeah.
That's why Jeremy is recommending increasing the size of the image to compensate for that compression.
Yeah, we're gonna have to upscale a few things, and we're gonna make sure that we get those out to you guys so you guys can kind of check them out a little bit better.
Yeah, when we figure out how we're gonna do that, guys, hopefully we'll have that in the next handful of hours, or at least by the end of the night. Also, if you guys want to take a closer look at Sir Basic, on the updates is a really great set of photos from Doug, and he primed using some StanoRes, which was recommended by for us to use by Gilbert Mondragon over at the Styrene Syndicate, and Gil has always been supportive of me and what we're trying to do here. But we used a zenithal priming technique where you prime it black, and then you add gray and then white from the top down to get a baked-in lighting effect. But those photos look fantastic, Doug. Really shows off the model, what you'll be getting, what you'll be able to print with. Keep in mind, guys, Doug has put a lot of time into learning how to use his printer so he doesn't have overbake. So this is about as crisp as you can get it. And a lot of things that he put into this model when he sculpted it, like the scales on the back and the scoots along the tail, really came out really, really nice. So,
but Doug does accept the challenge that anybody wants to try to outdo him. He would love to see it, because he would gladly give you the title.
Yeah, print it better than I did.
Exactly. So we can see it better.
I want to see my models in your hands. That makes me excited.
Take pictures and share them.
And share it. Tell your friends.
Just so you guys know, Sir Basic is supposed to go in a saddle. So when I'm looking at the photo, and I'm gonna switch to share here. When he's sitting on the back of the animal, just so you guys know, the gaps that I'm looking at here, okay, this is going to go away because he's going to fit the saddle for the animal. He's not supposed to ride this animal bareback. We didn't design him that way. So don't be worried about that. But these look really, really nice, even on Kickstarter.
And we're also going to be making the version of him where he's lopped off at the waist.
Right, where we're going to offer the legs and the upper body separate. So if you have another character that you want to try and fit to our basic character, you should be able to do that, both with this version and the sci-fi version that I'm working on. They do have different poses, but we are sticking with a basic build that we've got going on. So we'll try to make that available to you. This character, by the way, I do have another pose of him.
I do love the gear you made for him. That's really cool, man.
I've got two. We were actually talking about some of the things that influence us: Dragon Rider, Dune. What would a sci-fi or fantasy, super fantasy character look like? So we went with heavy armor, bare arms. We talked about different types of kit that characters have. I know that most characters have weapons for moving around with, for playing with. We also talked about the idea that maybe he's a spotter. You're going to be sitting up so high. How cool would it be to show the character with a set of binoculars? So we designed a quick set of binoculars to drop in here. We didn't want to do just the we didn't want to do just the standard old thing. This is one of the first poses I was trying out for putting him on the back of one of the animals, because we were looking at multiple poses for riders, and gave him a little bit of an air tank, gave him some attachments, gave him a respirator system, but wanted to get some bare face going on, because again, like Mad Max or any other apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic futures, we were just trying to play with some different ideas. So yeah, this is where I started with this guy, and he's kind of our preliminary character. We want to really get more characters developed, but this is the first. This is the body and the first one we really started going with. And you've seen through Doug's character.
If this guy was Sir Basic, what is the sci-fi guy's name?
I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
I wish you wouldn't.
His name is Clyde Generic.
Anyway, so
for the record, these 2 male figures are coming with the Kickstarter as riders. There will also be 2 female riders as well.
Right.
So you'll get 4 riders that you can work with.
Yeah, and what I was going to say additionally is that the base frame is the same. So his head is actually the same. He just doesn't have a respirator on here, but he's got the same hair and everything else. So, but you could have put a beard on him, dude. I was trying to set up my.
He needs a grand wizard beard.
He needs one, man.
All characters are better with beards.
All characters.
Everything is better with a beard.
And that's debatable. Imagine if he got grabbed by his beard and then be led around,
Wait, hey, quick vote. Quick show of hands.
I was going to say,
is everything better with a beard?
Yes. Sound off in the comments.
Aye.
I believe you've been outvoted,
We
Eric.
always have it.
Yeah.
Everything is better with a beard.
And Sebastian's over here like running his fingers through his beard. Yeah, some beard.
Anyway.
Just shake it at him.
All right. So also, if you guys haven't already checked out the one page that we're showing for the Terror Bird, we are going to be offering stat sheets with the download for our content. So if you guys want to use these in a 5e campaign or try and make a conversion, you'll have a starting place to go from. Again, Lee Winiga did a lot of research to help set this up for us. It's one of the things that we really haven't had a chance to talk about too much, but it is really exciting that we're actually be able to make that available. I know a lot of DMs are probably going to end up writing their own sheets, but at least this is a good starting place. So,
yeah.
Oh, there's the Terror Bird. Yeah, do we want to focus on Doug for a second because he's got the he started painting the Terror Bird.
He hit it with some quick colors so that we could get a nice indication of what it looked like.
I'm holding my hand up behind it because sometimes autofocus cameras don't focus great on miniatures.
You're still focusing much better on your hand than the miniature.
Do you want to share anything about the printing process or any of the work you did for that, or maybe the painting process? Or
Yeah.
Does that work?
Looks fair.
A little better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can polish that and make it look nice and
Yeah. This is really only like similar to the Pachycephalosaurus. There, I did a Zenithal Prime with the Steinolres, and then threw down a couple quick coats. I'm a big fan of painting with actually airbrushing with washes and glazes, which is one of those crazy things, but it works as a great little filter to really just pick up the base highlights. So I did a overall with a whole bunch of Gilliman blue.
Mm-hmm.
Did a kind of a purple on his belly, hit his back with some Lotharin blue, and did a little bit of Careborg crimson to his face.
Now, is the Gilliman a brand, or is that a?
These are all the GW paints. I use mostly the GW paints because I can find them readily, and they're at pretty much any store you go to.
Clarify to the people that aren't painters what GW paints are.
Oh, GW Games Workshop. Yeah, sorry. Games Workshop, their Citadel brand paints. If you go to your friendly local game store, support your friendly local game store. They will, if your store carries paints, you probably got about a 90% chance that they carry Games Workshop paints because they're kind of the standard in the miniatures. They're the standard intro paint in the miniatures painting industry because they make a good paint.
Yeah, if they don't carry those, they typically carry Army Painter. Those are the two big brands that you're going to see a lot in your local game stores. Personally, I use a few different things, but I do like the consistency out of a lot of the GW paints because since I do a lot of other acrylic painting and stuff anyway, I typically have those paints around. So I like to dilute and cut down my own paints to use on my miniatures. But that's just a different method on this stuff, and all of these things work out great. It just depends on which medium you're comfortable with.
Heavy body acrylics you're using?
I typically use the heavier body, like professional grade stuff, and then I'm cutting them down with either I'm cutting them down with water and or other chemicals. It just depends on what it needs for that particular paint. I find that the consistency out of those is about the same as getting the GW stuff, and since I already have those, there's no real point in trying to like buy every color like 3 times kind of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the GWs because they're readily available. I go support my local game shop and pick those up there. Something else to note is a lot of people don't have airbrushes, especially if you're just beginning to get into painting or if you're coming to the miniatures world through the 3D printing route, as opposed to the, hey, I'm coming to it through the, I'm going to my game store, because we all come to this through different routes. You can actually do the zenithal priming technique that we were talking about to get, this look, because if you look, he's black from beneath, gray at an angle, white from top down. You can actually do it with your traditional rattle can spray paint.
Yeah.
You just have to have a light touch with it when you're laying down the colors other than black. Black.
Yeah, you
prime it like normal. You just kind of want to go.
The other ones you really want to respect that 6 to 12 inch rule on them. Make sure that the humidity is appropriate for that, because if your humidity is either too dry, your paint's going to dry before it hits your model, or if it's too wet, it may clog at some point on there. So just be aware of your environment for that stuff, since I know a lot of people, especially if you're new to the hobby, you're not going to have an area set up inside that's going to be ventilated well enough to be doing that inside, so you're going to be at the mercy of the elements or your garage.
And with the zenithal primer, one of the things you may want to consider is getting some different types of inks and what have you. And Garage Kits USA or Garage Kit Colors is got a great set of inks, and they've also got some great tutorials. They're regularly promoted by different painting groups and what have you.
Yeah, you can pick up that white ink that Chris was telling me about. That one sounds nice.
For doing my zenithals, I typically, instead of running a white paint through my airbrush, because it tends to be really heavy and kind of cloggy on there, I'll use inks. And I like the ink gets a nice good look to it, but you have to be very, very subtle with it, and you have to come in multiple passes in order to get what you're shooting for with that. But the zenithal works great, especially for any of the washes and whatnot, like what Doug was talking about, because you're going to be able to maintain that gradient shift that you already put on your model. So you're doing a lot of your value before you actually apply any color on there. But if you go too heavy with the paint, or the pigment is very, very opaque, then you're not going to be able to see through any of that, and it kind of negates it. It's all about a learning curve of trying to figure out which techniques are going to work for the effects that you're looking to get.
Yeah, and if you go with a zenithal prime, even if you don't have, you can. I've got friends who I taught how to do the zenithal prime with the rattle can, where they don't have an airbrush, so they rattle can zenithal primed it, but then painted, by hand everything else. You can get some really fast, really good looks with just a zenithal prime and like a shade or a very thin down, color. When it comes to doing crates and stuff, a lot of times I will just do a zenithal prime on them, and then I hit them with like one coat of a brown wash, and it was literally all they needed.
Yeah.
I think I might have hit them with a little bit of a dry brush of like a bone color to kind of make them pop. But to get I was making a whole bunch of crates for a gaming tournament that I was running, and I just needed more terrain. Being able to get a lot of terrain onto your table really fast is one of the reasons I love 3D printing. Oh, it saved my bacon a bunch. But it's also being able to paint quickly and consistently is, work smart, not hard.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you guys are looking forward to anything in particular with this Kickstarter? Personally, either paint jobs or paint schemes that you want to try, or models that that you haven't personally gotten for yourselves, or do you guys want to add anything else on the project?
I'm
Currently,
really
we're
interested in seeing what our end users do with these and
Yeah.
how they modify. I'm very interested to see how many people use the riders, what color schemes people end up using, because unfortunately, no one was around or alive when you to see the dinosaurs in their actual colors. So all of the color schemes that we would end up using are all speculation. So I just like seeing the full gamut of everything on all of these dinosaurs. Everything from fantastical, like peacock style color schemes, or macaw style color schemes where they've got like red heads and like blue bodies and that kind of stuff. Anything. I want to see what people decide they're going to do with their dinosaurs. Because I know I have ideas for what I would want to do, but I don't want what I would do to influence what everyone else is going to do. And I would love if people would post their finished products once they've got these things printed and in hand in here, and share those with the community so that everyone else can see the awesome paintwork that they're going to do on them.
That speaks to another point about the end user, like our backers and whatnot. Do you guys think that there are any mods that you're going to be expecting to see? Because we're constantly trying to get people to mod more of their models.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard quite a few people posting in regards to Warhammer 40K wanting to make Eldar Exodite armies, which those are, I don't know the full background on those. It's been a while since I've been out of the 40K sphere of things for a little while. But my understanding was that the Eldar Exodites were, Eldar who weren't flying around out in space, and they rode around on dinosaurs. And so I've heard quite a few people say that they want to use our dinosaurs to put some Eldar on, which I would love to see that on the table, because that just sounds really, really cool. Because dinosaurs aren't just for fantasy; they're for sci-fi too.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool.
I'd also kind of like to see some of like the blades and stuff that I did on these dinosaurs be done as like laser swords, laser blades.
Ooh.
How would you do that? Because you were talking to me about that the other day, and I didn't fully understand.
Well, like the big blades, especially on like the Ankylosaur and like the Triceratops, where he's got like the huge crown all the way around, to do those blades so that they're like lightsaber style instead of like metallic.
Yeah, but I think I remember, and like I said, I didn't fully understand, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it because we were working on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you said something to the effect of, here's the blade, now we would extend it. And I was like, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to attach a piece of acrylic to it? Are we going to...
You could do a couple of different things depending on how you printed it and how you primed it. You could do a lot of interesting stuff. It'd be really neat to put LEDs underneath them and then paint solid around the outside. And if you printed it in a clear resin, you could illuminate it from the interior, and that would be pretty cool. I mean, there's all sorts of weird, interesting things that you can do with this stuff. Like, almost like if we were to have, like, for some reason one of these dinosaurs blew a lot of smoke or something, like have it rigged up with a smoke machine so that it would like pour out of the mouth or something. That would be cool. Or like on this guy, on the Quetzalcoatlus, like having a smoke machine up underneath the body so that it emitted smoke that actually went down and around the cloud stuff that's on him would be
That
cool.
would be a cool mod.
Yeah.
I've done a few mods with my own stuff where because I love to print the clear resin because, well, it's what I have the most experience with. But I have a few pieces of terrain that I've made over the years where I've actually taken little tea lights from like IKEA and put them inside it and made stuff light up from inside.
Yeah.
So doing that with some of these with the glowing resin, with the clear resin, could make for a really cool mod.
Yeah.
Speaking of, guys, all of our models are going to come with bases. And I forgot to mention this. We had a couple of people that really wanted to have the acrylic post to support the Quetzalcoatlus. However, we decided that we really wanted to make it look like it was flying and moving through the air and give it a more dynamic pose. The models are not going to be affixed to the bases. They are going to come separate. So you're not going to have a problem there. You can choose to use the bases that we provide, or you can choose to go and buy a base that you want. Most of the bases are semi-custom, but they're supposed to. We're trying to stick with one of the dimensions, either the X or the Y dimension, being a standard 10 millimeter measurement. So they are going to be a little bit bigger or a little bit different than what you're probably used to.
Ian has a question.
There are Raptors that will be coming. They are going to be part of the extension packs that are coming out afterwards. So we've got 2 packs, the Predator pack and the Herbivore pack, and Raptors are on the Predator pack for that.
Right.
They'll be available in the Pledge Manager.
Yep.
Yes.
That's going to come out later. Those guys are going to just be basic dinosaurs. We're not going to offer kits with them. Currently, they may come out in Patreon. They may come out in an expansion Kickstarter. Right now, we haven't decided on that because most of that stuff was decided upon during the Kickstarter when we had so many people ask for things that we weren't currently offering. So be patient with us. We will give you updates. We will provide more information. Thank you, Ian, for bringing that up. Ian, this is the first Kickstarter Ian's backed with us, but he's been supportive of us for quite a while. He's been very talkative with me over the course of developing the brand. So thanks, Ian, for the question.
Also, those expansion packs, they will include 2 of the basic setups that we've done on the Kickstarter. That's the basic unarmored and the armored. Because, what's a dinosaur without armor?
Yeah, exactly. Just for clarification, yep. They will have a plain pose and an armored pose.
Saddle pose and the other poses may come later, but they may be through our Patreon.
Yeah.
We're definitely not done with dinosaurs because this was so much fun.
We all love dinosaurs, and you guys love dinosaurs, and we would love to bring you more dinosaurs that you want to see.
Yeah, tell us dinosaur if there's a dinosaur that is your favorite dinosaur. Because let's be honest, when we were kids and we all, were really big into dinosaurs, everyone had a favorite dinosaur.
Yeah.
Tell us what that favorite dinosaur was. We will, hopefully we'll add it to the list of what we want to do more of in the future.
We will post on Patreon a list of future dinosaurs that we will be considering to do. So if you have one that you want to add to the list, message us, post it on Patreon, post it anywhere.
Yep.
So,
and we do a lot of those selections by polling and whatnot. So if you have a favorite dinosaur, we got to get people to vote on them.
Hold on a second. So Ian is asking, is Beer Cake and the weapons platform dino post Kickstarter as well? No, those are part of the primary. Those are part of the primary campaign.
So those will come with your files when the Kickstarter releases.
Yeah.
Right. The ones that are post Kickstarter are additional things that we never considered doing, or at least we weren't intending on offering with this Kickstarter.
until the community voiced that those were specific dinosaurs that they wanted, they were not part of this initial Kickstarter. So those two packages will be the stuff that comes out afterwards. But you will get the weapons platform and the beer cake thing at the end of this one when we roll out all the files. So
Indeed, Ian, you get beer cake.
I'm hoping that everybody has gotten their questions out, had an opportunity to see the things that we're offering, also had an opportunity to share with their friends or poke and prod their friends to help promote the campaign. Like I said before, word of mouth is really going to help us grow this project so that we can.
If Sebastian showed us his Stegosaurus in reality,
right? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
He's holding it in his hand.
One of the other questions that came up that I do want to mention, somebody asked us if these are scaled for 28 millimeter to 32 millimeter, and the answer to that is simply yes. These are all designed for those type of characters and those types of games. So as we make more models and more characters, that's primarily what we're looking at. Yeah. We are also trying to stick with real world dinosaurs. So as we learn new things about dinosaurs, we are going to try and incorporate them into the builds that we're going after.
Exactly.
And an example, Eric, go over the fact about the new findings that have been accepted by paleontologists across the world about the T-Rex.
Oh, right. The texturing for the T-Rex, there's been some pretty extraordinary things. T-Rex most likely did not have feathers, which is kind of nice. And their primary findings for this are, one is that we've got a whole bunch of skin samples. Now it doesn't cover the entire animal, but it's large portions of the animal. They have skin samples. The other is the more scientific one, which I really liked, is that when an animal gets to a certain size, if you take, for instance, the African elephant specifically, they require less insulative covering like fur or hair or quills or feathers or any of that other stuff. So they believe that since Tyrannosaurus Rex and a lot of the sauropods were so large, they really just had no need for those things because their regulated temperatures their temperatures were more easily controlled because they were just massive.
Yeah.
Whales are another good example because if you look at a lot of the larger whales, they have no feathers on they have no hair on them. But then you go to
a lot of different things though. For aquatic animals like that though, they have a relatively thick layer of blubber, which is additional fat that covers most of their body, and that helps to keep them insulated. With land animals, you don't necessarily need that. A matter of fact, you actually need more mechanisms to cool off. Like the elephant's ears and stuff act as a radiator in general for the animal. I would assume that something like the Stegosaurus would have used its fins in a very similar fashion, where it would use those fins to either warm up or cool off its blood flow by having the blood kind of run over those things and then being able to either independently fan them around or do those kind of things. But with like the T-Rex, he's such a large animal, just like the sauropods, that if you put fur on that thing, it would overheat and die.
Yeah.
So basically, in a non-scientific view, just a gamer view like me, T-Rex is going to be fucking awesome looking.
Yeah, he's not going to look like a giant chicken.
It will not be a giant chicken. No, it will look like the scary T-Rex from Jurassic Park, basically.
Actually, not even that. It looks more like a giant reptilian. The skin is a cross between snake scales and the
like
crocodilian that are on chicken feet.
Yeah.
Oh, so a little bit tighter.
Yeah, a lot of small scales. A lot of small.
Yeah, there was some really interesting artwork that I saw for some of that stuff. They also did a much better job at actually giving it realistic looking proportions in general, as far as like fat distribution and muscle and whatnot. And they had some artists actually go through and do essentially all of the entire muscle system on the skeletal remains to a level that made it look realistic in comparison to modern day living animals that we can compare them to.
Right.
So, which a lot of times when you look at dinosaurs from the old stuff, they're kind of emaciated in a lot of the bony protrusions and stuff, and that's not necessarily true, because if you were to look at like a gorilla skull in comparison to what an actual gorilla looks like, it's very, very different.
There's been a bunch of posts I've seen recently on the, hey, here is the skull of this animal. Here is, maybe how an alien paleontologist would just do it. And there's this terrified, horrible, scary, emaciated.
Yeah.
And here's a hippo. It's like, eh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the hippo one was really, really scary.
Hippos, gorillas. There's a few of them that I've seen like that where they did that same thing that Doug was talking about, because I think he showed me that link. Yeah, elephant was really one of the scary ones.
Well, it's because the soft tissues don't fossilize. So if we had fossils of the elephant, well, we don't have there are indicators that we know that they have extrapolated for, mammoths and mastodons, that, this is similar enough to what we have now, it's related to that, and they can see the muscle attachments in the skull.
Mm-hmm.
But if we did not have a modern day example of that, we wouldn't know that it has this big long noodle of muscle hanging from its face.
Yeah, I think there's like a ridiculous number of muscles in it too.
Yeah, what got me thinking about this, it got me thinking though, was when we were looking at that, was what would T-Rex or Velociraptor look like if it had, like elephant ears, for instance? I mean, how bizarre would those animals look? Because we got this giant skull with all these teeth in it, and we're thinking, it's stripped down, and they don't have. Do they have ears, or they just have a hole in the side of their head?
Yeah, and that's one of those other things that we're not 100% sure on in general. I mean, because our closest representation is going to be like the Komodo dragon, and if you look at him, he's got a lot of like belly dragon kind of skin and stuff, especially around like the way his arms move and that kind of stuff for his biomechanics. So I mean, that there's no telling 100% what an actual dinosaur would look like unless we've got like skin indentations. Because I think the ankylosaur actually did have, they found a few years ago a full actual fossilized representation of what the exterior of the animal looked like.
Right. They actually had effectively a mummified ears, which was insane if you've actually seen the photographs from this thing.
Oh yeah, it's super cool.
Well, that was the other thing that was so cool about the T-Rex, because in the Paleontology International Journal, their write-up on it, they theorized that the T-Rex actually had skin like a snake that actually changed color by its angle.
Ooh.
So it opens up a whole lot from an artist standpoint of what we could do with it.
So it's kind of got like the color shift thing going on?
Yes.
Ooh.
Like, could you imagine if it had one of those frills that opened up around its neck?
Like a Dilophosaurus?
Yeah.
And then it like screeched at you and spit acid tar stuff in your face.
See, what I want to know is how they figured out that it spat acid tar stuff, or if that was them just talking out their.
I think that was them spitballing, because I don't think there's any way that you'd be able
to spitballing.
Yes. Yep. You saw what I did there. It was subtle, kind of. But yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I think kind of walking the line between birds and lizards is really the way to go with it, because they've proven that birds were evolved from theropod dinosaurs, and the whole, like, one of my favorite places in the world, the Field Museum in Chicago, Sue the T-Rex was actually the fossil where they first found evidence of effectively what is the wishbone, and which helped them to prove that modern day birds had evolved from theropod dinosaurs.
Right.
Which is really cool.
That is really cool.
Now I got one more thing to point out before you take off, Eric, on what you're going to say. These expansion packs that are coming after the Kickstarter, they will be within 60 days after the Kickstarter. They're not going to be released immediately.
Yeah, we haven't even really gotten very far with the model making.
Development time.
The hunting pack and the herbivore herd.
Yep.
So where can they get this, guys? Where can they go?
In the Kickstarter, we'll have a link posted in the updates when the Pledge Manager opens, which will be 2 weeks after the Kickstarter. And it's going to be hosted by My Mini Factory.
Yep.
We're real pleased with that. And you'll be able to go there, redeem your files, and be able to add assets to your order.
Right. Just so you guys know, we are using a new Pledge Manager. If we do run into any technical difficulties, just give us a little bit of time and patience. We will work it out.
But let us know of any problems.
Yeah, let us know of any problems. We won't know until you guys talk to us. But just be aware.
Isn't it?
What?
My Mini Factory being a Pledge Manager, that's really new, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think we're part of their beta release for that. They actually they worked with us closely on pursuing that new tool.
8 or 9 projects currently on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
but it's growing.
And we wanted to try it out because we were working with BeckerKit, and My Mini Factory talked to us about it, and we decided to give them a shot and see what they could do for us. So yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Do you guys want to add anything else? Because we've talked about a lot today, and we've shown a lot. We've gotten pretty much everything covered that I can think of.
I think we're pretty
Go
good.
tweet and retweet and unlock the last of those social goals.
Exactly.
Tell your
Retweet.
friends.
Tell your friends. Tell all your friends. Tell your family members. Tell everybody.
Go put a soapbox out on the street corner and yell.
Don't
Make a sign and spin it on the street corner about how you love dinosaurs and everybody should buy our project, right? Is there an equivalent to internet street sign spinners?
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Yeah.
Somebody out there just
I'm sure there's a marketing thing for that.
Isn't that what Twitter is?
Pretty much.
Maybe.
That might be the problem with Twitter.
Also, keep talking to us, guys. If there's something that you're looking for, something you want to know about, something that you missed, please let us know. Please check out the updates. We are trying to get more content put up. Are you guys releasing a dino early so we can print it? That might help grab people to the free dinosaur, which is Beefcake. Isn't cut up yet, but maybe we'll do that with.
We should be able to have that done before the end.
Yeah, I think that maybe we can put Beefcake out probably before the last 10 hours. We've got 63 hours. I'll probably get Beefcake done today or tomorrow. We can put that out with 10 hours before close. If you send it to the list.
Today? Oh my God! Beefcake's coming out today. Sorry. I want to print Beefcake too.
All right, fine. I'll stop what I'm doing and work on Beefcake.
Beefcake it up. Yeah, everybody said
if you're part of the Kickstarter or you signed up for the mailing list, you can get Beefcake for free. I will make that available. We'll make that available. I'll print it ASAP for the group. Thank you, Ian. So
It'll be the unsupported version though. We're not doing free supports in that quickly.
Yeah, we may not. Yeah, we'll see about that.
Doing. He's an old pro.
The model will come out soon, very soon. So yeah, we'll get a model out before close. So those of you that did sign up for the mailing list or are participating in the Kickstarter will have access to Beefcake. If you're not signed up for the mailing list, it's really easy. James, where can they sign up for the mailing list?
It's in the updates. It's in the Kickstarter. You just click on the image of Beefcake, and it'll take you to the sign-up sheet, and you will get a copy of Beefcake as soon as it releases.
Right.
Yay! Free Beefcake!
So, yeah.
Plus, you get notified of all future Kickstarters, additional dinosaurs, and all the other cool things that we work on.
We got
things.
And we only send out important notices, so you will not get a bunch of spam from us.
Yeah. Also, guys,
because some people are finicky about that.
Just a pre announcement. We've already started setting up the next Kickstarter. The core product for the next Kickstarter has already been printed, and Chris is actually getting ready to finalize assembly and start working on painting. We're really not ready to announce it yet, but be prepared. We are getting ready to do our next thing already.
We will have some stuff for you at the end of this Kickstarter. So we will have some cool stuff to show you guys to get you kind of interested in it.
Right.
When will then be now?
Mm-hmm.
Also be aware. The next project's key element comes in 1 Chris unit.
Yes, it does. It is 1 Chris unit high. It's big. No, actually, I'm short, so
He's not
it's
that
big
short.
for a miniature. Big for a miniature, short for a person.
All right, guys, we've been doing this for almost an hour and a half.
Mhm.
I think it's time to wrap it up and get back to work. So,
All right.
good night, Gracie.
Remember, guys, Kickstarter.com, World's Overrun. Back it, share it, tell everybody.
Like it. Tell everybody.
And just follow us for future models, and send us your feedback. Tell us how you feel, what you guys think. Thank you guys for everybody that has backed us. You guys been amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes,
And
thank you. Thank you, everyone.
As Sebastian pointed out, you can join the mailing list. You can follow us on Patreon. You can also follow us on Kickstarter. It's very simple. Just click on the logo at the top and say follow. And then you'll get notices every time we release a new product. So it's easy. Just do it.
Easy as pie.
Yep.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Grayson.
And remember, everyone, elevate your gaming.
Beat your game.
Always.
I'm here waving like an idiot.